calls for the snap, looking for Heath, hit as he throws, and it is intercepted. Fouché has it in the end zone. Fouché takes it away. Dart with the INT. The pressure gets to the quarterback for Ole Miss. And Fouché with his first interception as a Tiger.
Hello and welcome into Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, as always, joined by the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji, here at Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come check it out. Great food at great prices, a great place to catch the game. Good atmosphere. Bring the whole family. Once again, Old School Barbecue is where we shoot the show. Want to welcome in the Bud Man here on a Tuesday. Bud Man, huge game this weekend. LSU gets number 7. Ole Miss, 45-20. I know you had the Tigers winning, but I don't think anybody had the Tigers put up a 45-burger and having another shutout in the second half.
Good to see you, JP. Hope everybody doing well. Even though it is an open date week, LSU will not play. We continue to do the show. A lot to talk about. You cannot see it, but this hat has, read it, half
glass
full.
Half full. Gotcha.
Your glass should be half full, as LSU has scored 45 points the last 2 weekends against Florida, and obviously a big-time Ole Miss victory, 45-20. JP, this team has outscored people more than 2-1 in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
But we have a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. Brian Kelly, obviously, with an open date. Oh, by the way, at Notre Dame, he was 11-1 after an open date. This open date falls with Alabama. Most of you are aware that it is a 6 o'clock game on ESPN,
yep.
And it's going to be a great build-up. But how about those Tigers? 6-2, Southern with a big win. Now they get a little bit of game day exposure,
yep.
with primetime in Jackson State, and, of course, that final segment with JP. And that's when we'll put our sunglasses on because of the Saints.
That's right. And once Saints drop a game Thursday night football, the schedule's been kind of rough on Thursday nights. I don't think Amazon Prime really getting their money's worth, but at least the Saints and the Cardinals did put up some points. Andy Dalton had 4 touchdowns through the air, but the Saints just have too many holes, too many areas where the play is subpar. You can't be bad on defense and special teams while also being bad on offense. Expect to win games. The NFC South, luckily for the Saints, is the worst division in football, and they're one game out of first place in the division. Carolina stinks. They're in a rebuilding phase. They're getting rid of all their players. Christian McCaffrey now out the division, goes to the 49ers. The Atlanta Falcons with that Marcus Mariota RPO offense. The division's really bad. Even Tom Brady's Buccaneers have shown a lot of weakness, so the Saints aren't out of it yet, but a lot of Who Dat Nation out there, just grasping at straws, looking for positives from this team.
Raiders coming in this weekend at noon, and we all know that when the Jags lose and the Tigers lose and the Saints lose, it's not good for business, right. But it's not good for traffic. It's not good for, I guess you could say, just normal relations, because a lot of us, including JP and myself,
yep.
live vicariously through these teams. It's a better weekend when LSU brings home the victory. We're going to let you hear from Brian Kelly, also talk about some highlights, talk about the award winners. How about the trio winning awards this week? And even though it is an open date, there still is plenty of football. But 10, 11 days, whatever it is, to build up this LSU-Alabama. They shut out the Pirate Mississippi State. So we know that Saban's coming in here, and I'll just tell you this one little tidbit. He is not going to let Jaden Daniels beat the Crimson Tide. So Denbrock and Kelly now have a week and a half to get their ducks in a row. You want to get some guys back healthy. We're expecting Garrett Dellinger possibly to be back. Also expecting Major Burns to be back. And kudos to number 13, Joe Fouché. We called him out and said, Joe, you've got to play better. And reminded me of you in your heyday with that one-handed interception. But that 13. Was a big momentum swing. And did you see Lane Kiffin after those Tiger Woods fist pumps in the first half with, Mike Denbrock and Matt House.
And
Brian Kelly are getting acclimated to the SEC.
Yep.
And I'll just say it the final time because somebody's got to tell Coach Kelly this. And maybe he'll get the message. But they're not called Mississippi, Coach. They're called Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
So move on to Alabama. And in case you don't know it, you better start faster because if Alabama jumps up with a double-digit lead, that and the referees in the first half, that is going to be probably too much to overcome. But, man, 6-2 in the top 20.
Yep.
You've beaten the top 10 team. You've beaten the underdog when you were underdog to Mississippi State. This is kind of rounded in, and let's give props now. Jaden Daniels, 21 touchdowns he's accounted for, and 1 turnover, that INT that happened right at the end of the Tennessee game.
No, Jaden Daniels is the catalyst for this offense. Of course, he's the Davey O'Brien National Quarterback of the Week for his performance. Also set the LSU record for rushing touchdowns and rushing yards this past weekend. Look, we kind of talked about a lot on the show, whether this is a rebuild year or just a building year. Granted, the scholarship numbers aren't where they should be. This is a rebuild of a program, but to get a top 10 win in year one with the roster he came into this program with, Brian Kelly has got to be blowing people away right now. If he's not, you haven't been paying attention.
Well, and the great thing about it is, listen, that was a tough emotional departure when Tommy Moffitt, the strength and conditioning coach, was not asked to come back. But Jake Flint and his strength and conditioning team, let's throw in the trainers, let's throw in nutrition, let's throw in academics. They have the whole picture, and they had a way about doing it. And as Coach Kelly has told this team over and over again, October's for contenders, November, is pretenders, November for contenders. And this is going to be a big stage. I think Chris Fowler and Herb Street are coming to call that game. So we'll have a great build-up. Everybody knows Alabama has owned LSU for the most part in Baton Rouge the last 10-plus years. We'll get into all of that. But back to Jake Flint, this team has plenty of juice left in the tank. And JP, they outscored Mississippi State in the fourth quarter and late 21-0. Now 42-3 after going down 17-3. I text JD and Mike Scarborough. I said, if Coach House doesn't make some adjustments on defense, Lane Kiffin is going to put up a big number. And this is the great thing about Brian Kelly. He basically, in a nutshell, when they asked him what did he say, he said, well, I can't tell you our secret. But they got more aggressive. And for the life of me, will you please bring Sister Marie with the Palm Reading Service on Airline Highway? Will you bring her in next week to tell us why Harold Perkins is not playing in the first half? 6 plays in the first half, and he was dominant in the second half. And because of that, he reaped
SEC Freshman Player of the Week.
There you go.
All right, we got a first break here on Tigers Roar. Come back and join us. Don't forget, check us out on YouTube. If you miss anything on this program or programs in the past, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. It's all there for your viewing pleasure. Go check it out. You are watching Tigers Roar.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Your favorite season is back, and now's the time you can score savings at the Team Automotive Group. You can sell your vehicle to us, and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Score VIP service and save at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Hello,
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Continue here on Tigers Roar, coming to you from Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Had a great deal on the menu. It's called the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich. It's a huge sandwich, but man, it comes with 2 sides and a drink for under $8. Come check it out, the Boss Hog here at Old School Barbecue. Take you back to Saturday, 2:37 kickoff, as my man Buddy here informed y'all last Wednesday. He's very particular with the times.
You got to give people a little time because, you know, look, it was better than 11 o'clock, but it's still a late arriving crowd. And the last thing you want in Tiger Stadium is get a deficit, but they were able to overcome that 17-3 deficit. Yeah. And that made a big difference.
Yeah, so it was the first game I actually attended in the stands in a long time, 12 years, I believe. So number 7 in the nation, went with my wife, her dad, her stepdad, and her mom. It was awesome. Sat on the visitor side. So we had the sun side of the 237 kick. So it got hot. We did have some cloud coverage here and there, so that was nice. And it started off rough again for the Tigers. You know, got punched in the mouth real early again. Ole Miss scores quick. LSU comes down, gets the field goal. Ole Miss scores another touchdown. LSU comes back for another field goal try and miss it. Yeah. You're like, oh, boy, here we go. Yeah. Lane Kiffin had his sideline roll, and they were all amped up. The band was going. A lot of fans in red. They were doing their hotty toddy, body, body, poopy, potty, potty. I don't know what they say, but they nonstop all day. Get inside the stadium. Bump, 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 go. It was awesome. Okay, the band was rocking. The stands were cool. I hadn't been in a long time, but it was different, bud, man. This Brian Kelly environment is a little bit different than the games I had been to in the past. For instance, I was there when Tim Tebow cried. Took a knee and cried after the game back in 2007, I believe, 2008. And LSU fans were relentless, brutal. You know, called them all week. Tiger baited every Florida fan that walked in the game. There was really none of that going on. I don't know if it's because Barstool Sports had a tent over by Fred's and Tigerland. A lot of the younger crowd went over there. But that was a big deal. It was a cool environment. Had the talk shows for Barstool out there, big crowds. And then what a great game. I mean, come back in the second half. I wasn't going to storm the field. Now, I'm a little too old for that. The young folks can handle that. Beating number 7, I kind of feel like, look, this is Ole Miss. You're supposed to win this game. Yeah, they're number 7, but I wasn't jumping on the field for the win against us. I enjoyed myself immensely, Bud, man, but I wasn't going to storm the field.
By the way, JP and his wife, just the cutest couple, and you think that Saban's a great recruiter, and you think that Brian Kelly's doing a great job of recruiting, but you're a heck of a recruiter, my man. It cost LSU $250,000.
Yeah, $250,000.
And it was almost like a delayed blitz.
Yeah,
There were a few, and then they were all going like, are we going to go? And so anyway, was it noteworthy? Well, I'll give you a connection of the dots. When Nick Saban came here 22 years ago in 2000, they beat Mississippi State in overtime. They beat Tennessee in overtime. Both those teams were ranked. LSU was rebuilding from the debacle when Nick took over. And they stormed the field both of those times. Ole Miss is like Trev Alberts said many, many years ago about Ole Miss football. Once a runt, always a runt. And they were overrated. But anytime you got Lane Kiffin calling plays, know if they've got a complimentary defense, then they're going to be a pretty good football team. Now, we don't know how good Ole Miss is going to be. We don't know how good LSU is going to be. But that moving forward cost them $250,000, but it brought back the excitement. And what you said earlier, you hadn't been there, Tiger Stadium is a shell of what it used to be. And this is a shout-out to all of you who are probably right now seriously considering selling your tickets at a scalper's value to an Alabama fan. Some of that's going to go on. The bottom line is this. Jay Johnson didn't have a sold-out box because he lost A&M and Auburn 2 out of 3 early on. This gives Brian Kelly an opportunity, if you can get that place packed and loud and crazy, then you got a chance of impacting the outcome. But this is a slow process, and I think Tiger Stadium in a year or two from now, we're going to be talking about just how incredibly intimidating it is. But right now, a lot of fans still saying, show me, prove it to me, on Brian Kelly and certainly on Jaden Daniels.
I thought Brian Kelly had his team in the right mindset. They look forward to the opportunity to play it in front of their fans at home against a top 10 team. They didn't shy away from it. And look, Coach Brian Kelly has been saying since the jump, this team has fight. You saw it in that Florida State game, fighting all the way back and lose by an extra point. Never gave up, and they showed that in pretty much every game. That Tennessee one looked bad. I mean, looked bad on paper, looked bad on film, looked bad on the scoreboard. Because Brian Kelly kind of said, look, we saw the tape internally, and we didn't think that we were that far off. I mean, I went for it a bunch of times on 4th down. That didn't help the score. We did some things that to win in the fashion they did against a top number 7 team, holding them to under 120-something yards. They just put up 420 against Auburn.
Yeah.
This was an impressive, dominant second half. You mentioned Jake Flint. I mean, they got stronger as the game went on. There was no fatigue setting in. These 2 freshman tackles, they're fighting every single play. I love those guys.
DeMario Tolan actually got some reps inside, made a couple tackles in limited numbers. He's number 32. He's another true freshman. Harold Perkins, wow, what an impact player. And look, they both play the same spot, the jack linebacker. B.J. Ojolari is on the right end, and Ali Gay is on the left end. We talked about it last week. If you got to keep Ali in the game, move him inside. But I want to see 18, and I want to see 40, and I want to see 23. I don't think people have talked enough about Micah Baskerville and the job he has done. But Fouché getting that INT, got to give him a bunch of confidence. LSU, once again, playing clean, didn't have a turnover. Special teams, better, not great yet, but better. And it just gives them hope. Listen, this team is plus in the turnover ratio. And Jaden Daniels, when you put his stats up against others, he's having a phenomenal year. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about him possibly coming back next year. If that is the case, it would cost them NIL money.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And we'll see. But let's just take this one game at a time. And you and I know many times LSU had Alabama right there and just could not squeeze it and finish the game. So great start is imperative. I don't think you can get down double digits.
Not
Bryce
17.
Young. Here's the stat. Let me see if you remember this, because it's still the most uncanny stat you can ever take to your coffin or your grave. You know how many yards rushing Alabama had last year?
Was it 3?
6.
6.
Twice that many. 6.
Yeah.
And so Alabama was just held to small yardage by Mississippi State. So where I'm getting at, folks, is that Mekhi Wingo was also the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week. Hello, Jay Roy. It's time for you, baby, to make some money. So this is a big game. Everybody's going to be watching. Ali Gay, all those guys on the defensive front, Jacoby and Gilroy, all of them. You got to come in and out, got to tackle in space well, and you got to put pressure on Bryce Young, because I'm going to tell you, I've watched some of their games, and, man, guys get so close to him, even get their hands on him, and he is still able to dink it and dunk it and get rid of it. So great challenge, but how cool is this that the glass is half full in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because LSU is 6-2 with an open date, and they're going to get some guys back. As we said, Major Burns back in the secondary is big, JP.
Yeah. Coach Brian Kelly always talks about how great of a communicator Major Burns is, setting guys up. He's only doing anything but help the defense. We're going to take another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We'll come back. You'll hear from head coach Brian Kelly himself. Don't go anywhere. After this break, you will hear the post-game conference from Coach Brian Kelly this past Saturday from Tiger Stadium. Don't go anywhere. You are watching Tigers Roar.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
The 2022 Mazda CX-5 with iActive all-wheel drive and available turbo engine. It truly ignites the senses.
Save on your new CX-5 right now during the season of discovery at Team Mazda.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Hey, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun, too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Goes 4-1 in the SEC, beating the Ole Miss Rebels 45-20 this past Saturday at Tiger Stadium. We'll take you back and let you hear from head coach Brian Kelly just a second. Budman, Jaden Daniels goes 21 for 28, 248 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. Also had 23 carries for 120 yards, 3 TDs. That's 5. Last game had 6. Accounted for 11 touchdowns in 2 weeks, Budman. That's like a number that's mind-blowing.
Without a turnover. And as we looked at the stats, LSU dominating the fourth quarter, something like 78 points to 34. Jaden Daniels has rushed 113 times in 8 games. I think that they certainly – look, the last thing you want to do is bring in memories of Matt Malk, which was 20 years ago when they beat the snot out of Florida. And they ran Matt Malk on a counter. And guess who the offensive coordinator was at that time? Jimbo Fisher. And I asked Jimbo who called the play, and he admitted to me on the practice field that Monday that he called the play. But you got to be careful. LSU was running Jaden Daniels when they were up double digits. You got to protect his body. You don't want to lose him. But, man, he's slinging it so much better. And, hey, let's give another shout-out to Mason Taylor. Mm-hmm. That is the Mason Taylor that I think Brian Kelly was bragging about. He was incredibly fast on the sidelines, got his first touchdown, even though he should have gotten one earlier if they would have reviewed it. But he and one other little tidbit, did you see Booty and the wide receivers blocking this week?
Oh, yeah.
All these things, folks, it's part of the equation. It takes time. You got to feel good about the direction of the LSU football team.
We do have some highlights from this past Saturday's game. We'll ask Alan in the truck to go ahead and roll those highlights. We'll continue the conversation. Budman, Jahray Jenkins also had 2 catches, 51 yards, but that touchdown where he had to readjust for the ball. I was at the game. I saw him wide open off the line. Of course, Daniels was a little late getting it to him, tosses it up, but goes between 2 defenders and grabs that ball. Jahray Jenkins just continues to make big plays for the Tigers.
Here is Damian Ramos. He makes the first field goal to make that 17-3. Of course, he did miss one as well. But this is what we like. You see what we're talking about, wide receivers blocking? That's what we've been asking for all year. Jailbreak, bubble, throw it out in space. Let these guys make some plays.
That was one of Malik Neighbors' 4 catches. He had 37 yards on the game, and here it is. Jahray Jenkins makes the adjustment, comes back for the ball, bails out his quarterback, and scores a touchdown. Very athletic play by number 10.
Leads LSU in touchdown receptions. Here we go once again, the LSU defense. A big hit right here, and I thought the Tigers played with a little more physicality and played better on defense.
Yeah, Jackson Dart.
Once again, here we go, Mason Taylor. Now look at him run. He didn't look that fast 3 weeks ago, JP.
He did look very good right there on that catch. Also had a touchdown later on in this game. I thought Daniels was very decisive at the top of his drop back. Here you see a great completion to number 7, Kayshawn Booty. Booty had 4 catches for 43 yards. Didn't get in the end zone, but came mighty close on this reception.
He's coming, and here is the read option right here. Daniels gets into the end zone. Don't think for a second Nick Saban's not going to have Will Anderson and those linebackers ready for that play come the night of November 5th.
Daniels had 23 carries, 121 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Defense stepped up right here. Great pressure by the freshman, number 40, Harold Perkins.
Hello, Harold Perkins. Or you think they're going to play him in the first half a little bit more against Alabama?
I do think it was a mismatch early in the game. Ole Miss really went to number 8. I think it was Wheat right over the linebackers in front of safeties. Went to a few times on the Tigers. Brought in Perkins because he can rush the quarterback, obviously run the things down, and the freshman always makes plays when he's on the field.
Hey, folks, Armani Goodwin was back at the running back spot after the hammy, and he is a little man, but here is the unsung hero of LSU's offense, Josh Williams, always getting plenty of yardage. And once again, Williams gets a big pickup. Those things, I can't wait to see what LSU's offensive line is going to do against that Alabama front.
Williams had 17 carries for 76 yards and the touchdown. Only had a long of 9 yards. Here's a touchdown catch from Mason Taylor. You know his dad's Jason Taylor. They love to say it every time he's on the field. But there you go. Great for the freshman to get in the end zone right there.
Love that play down by the goal line. Yep. And once again, I think that's going to be a winner for LSU and Mike Denbrock all year long.
So we talked about the SEC Offensive Player of the Week.
Look at Baskerville.
Baskerville led the team again in tackles, third straight week in a row. He had 3 solo, 9 total, and a tackle for loss. Here's that Fouché interception we showed in the intro. And what an athletic play. Came all the way across the field, 13 did, and caught it one-handed. Kept his feet in bounds. Thought about the return, but man, made the smart play, took it in the end zone.
Baskerville was blitzing right up the A-gap, put pressure, made him throw it before. This is the other thing. Let's give Matt House a lot of credit for adjustments in the second half.
Yep.
Once again, we love this play.
Yep.
Booty is still not back to where he was before he was injured, but he's getting there.
Yep, and he's engaged. He's involved with all the different other players, and he's not angry at success from his teammates, so he's being a team player right now. Here's another touchdown from Daniels. Going back to the interception for a second, Bud, man, it was 24-20 at that point. Ole Miss never sniffed the end zone after that interception, so defense really, as Coach Brian Kelly, put their cleats in the ground and started playing more aggressive.
Are you kidding me? The SEC officials did not look at the spot with Jackson Dart on 4th down, and yet they replayed that. You'd have to. Stevie Wonder knew that was a touchdown.
That's right. LSU putting some more pressure on Jackson Dart. Great coverage right here by Bernard Converse. Here we go, number 5, dropping back again, going to the sidelines. Great catch right here. I believe that's Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. has been very solid. Once again, look, LSU's got a lot of guys that run afterwards. Here's Daniels once again in a world of trouble, and he gets out to pick up the first down.
Look at Joe Burrow-esque escape from a sack right there to pick up a big first down. Great pocket presence, and then we saw a crease. He went and got it. Did a good thing, tried to slide out of contact, but that's why you have the flag. LSU's keep moving down the field.
This is going to be incredibly important coming up the night of November 5th. You know where I'm going. You got to score touchdowns in the red zone and not settle for field goals. We saw what happened what the Saints have been doing with settling for field goals.
You got to give credit to Coach Brad Davis and this offensive line. They had their 6 different rotations start on Saturday. Did a great job. Really ended this game with 5 minutes left in the game. Ole Miss knew LSU was going to try to run the clock out. Could not stop them. And Coach Kelly said it's a mindset, and Coach Brad Davis did a great job building that mindset with 2 young guys at tackle.
What a great job House did, once again, disguising and bringing pressure from all areas. BJ's got to get a few more sacks. He had a bunch of hurries, and we want to see certainly number 40 make impact. There's, once again, Josh Williams. You just never can say enough about what 27 brings to the table. He is the definition of Brian Kelly's football team in year 1. Never give up, grit, and pretty darn good football player.
Yeah, almost another turnover right there for LSU's defense. And that wraps it up. Coach Brian Kelly gets his first win as the LSU Tiger head coach against the top 10 team. A great victory in front of those home LSU Tiger fans, bud, man.
A lot of empty seats in the upper deck. Now, Ole Miss, we kind of talked about this last week. They actually turned down all of the tickets. I think they gave back 1,000 tickets. Alabama's not going to do that. Generally speaking, you give 6,000 or 7,000 when you go play there or when they come play here. Folks, I'm just going to tell you, it's your prerogative. We understand inflation. We understand money. And we probably know that you could get scalper's price on an Alabama Yahoo coming in here. But they feel like they own LSU and Tiger Stadium. Going to be interesting to see if that's a packed house and if that upper deck is packed.
We'll take one more break. We'll let you guys hear from head coach Brian Kelly right after this. Don't forget, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. It's a great way to keep up with everything we do here at the Pelican. If you missed anything on this program or anything in the past programs, go check us out, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. While you're at the site, go ahead and click subscribe and click that bell so you get notifications every time we post something new. Come back and join us. We have another quick break. You are watching Tigers Roar.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road, Gonzales.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Your favorite season is back, and now's the time you can score savings at the Team Automotive Group. You can sell your vehicle to us, and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Score VIP service and save at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. In this segment, we let you guys hear from head coach Brian Kelly, his post-game press conference from this past Saturday. 45-20 victory over number 7 team in the nation. Gets LSU back into that top 25, sitting at 18. Tulane still in the top 25. Shout out Coach Willie Fritz down in New Orleans. Really, he's built that program from the ground up, and it is a solid program. But, man, that's a good football team.
Yeah, and of course, as everybody knows, you get a chance to do the honeydews and take a break this weekend. Ladies, I hope you always listen to me. You know what that Ole Miss game was for the ladies in Baton Rouge. That was a new outfit type of win. I always said that, whether you shop at Town Center or wherever. Man, if he didn't buy you a new outfit after that big win, a lot of older people in my landscape area code of age, that was a rivalry that we grew up with. Go to hell Ole Miss, go to hell LSU. But really good to see LSU make the adjustments, play the way they did. Really good. And Coach Kelly, let's hope moving forward you will never call Ole Miss Mississippi ever again. You know, I have to tell Saban that. I have to teach Saban they're not Mississippi, they're Ole Miss. He asked me why they call them Ole Miss. I didn't know it at the time.
Right.
I know it now, and I'm not going to explain it to you.
Well, here is head coach Brian Kelly after the big win against number 7 Ole Miss from this past Saturday. Head coach Brian Kelly.
Well, exciting day in Tiger Stadium. Our guys wanted this opportunity. They saw this as a privilege to play in this stadium and really wanted this opportunity. And obviously, the last 3 quarters played great football. And that's, look, at the end of the day, when you have a top team coming in, that's why you come to LSU. And our best players played their best, and we needed that. Our defense played great in the second half, obviously, against, as you saw, a very potent offense. As our guys got their cleats in the ground, they played much better. Their eye discipline was great in the second half. Holding them to, under 120 yards rushing is a great feat for any defense going against what they do at Mississippi. The quarterback was excellent again, back-to-back weeks leading the offense. He was the catalyst for us making quick decisions. He was assertive, aggressive, ran the ball. The offensive line was outstanding, as you know, really put the game away at the end. And we got stronger. We exerted our will against our opponent, which is part of what we're building here, is that we want a dominant mindset amongst our group that, come the second half, we want to be able to run the ball effectively and control our opponent and move him against his will, and I thought we did that. So, great victory. Excited for our guys. We got some time off, which we need, and we'll get a chance to get on the road recruiting and get ready for our next opponent and give these guys a little time off. So with that, we'll open up the questions.
If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you, please. Yeah, go ahead. Was Jaden coaching the cameras back here, straight ahead?
Oh, yes.
Was Jaden expected to be that much of a run game, and what kind of, like you said, flex is that for you guys to be able to continue to do that and run downhill in the second half?
Yeah, so the structure of their defense is, a 3-down with 6 defensive backs, and when they chose to keep them back in coverage, he was in a zone read game option where he could throw it or run it, and he was on his game tonight. When he had 3 deep safeties, he was reading it out and keeping it. When the safeties were down, the ball was coming out on RPOs. He was really good tonight reading it out.
You obviously took a big risk coming down here to take this job. I mean, I know it's mid-season, but is there any validation you get in a win like this in Tiger Stadium that, you do have this thing in the right direction?
No. I think that's probably the furthest thing from my mind. I'm so excited for our players. I used this analogy before. They jumped in 100% with a whole new way of doing things for me, and I'm just so pleased that they're seeing positive results because of it. I think that's what I'm most excited about.
Hey, Coach, over here.
Yes.
With the defense, what are some of the adjustments you guys made in that second half? Because you guys really shut them down.
I can't give you all of those. They're secrets. I really would like to tell you there were a lot, but I think we just got a little bit more aggressive in talking to Matt at halftime. Sometimes we tend to cover up some things that we feel like are weaknesses, and they're not really that weak. And we just kind of said, let's go play. And probably a little bit more aggressive maybe in the second half, and just let the guys play.
Yeah, hey, Coach, right here. Harold Perkins was all over the field tonight, really getting in Jackson Dart's face a lot. Can you just speak to his performance and just kind of how important he was to executing the defensive game plan in the second half?
He was good. He's active. As you saw, it's hard to get him on the field as much, but we felt like it was really important to get him out on the perimeter because he can run things down, and he's a very good pass rusher. He's an exceptional player. I think everybody knows that. But within our structure, some guys lose some playing time because of it, and some really good players lose some playing time. He's a really good player, and he impacts our defense, no doubt.
Coach, late in the third quarter, the Micah Baskerville pressure and the Joe Fouché interception in the end zone, what did that mean in the overall game? Because they didn't sniff the end zone again after that.
Yeah, the momentum really shifted there. The interception was probably the biggest play because they were threatening to score in that situation. And we felt like, okay, that was the first time where we got any extension in the game from them because it was score, score, score. That was probably the one big play in the game that gave us the ability to obviously pull away a little bit from them. So that was a huge play. And, the pressure obviously had a lot to do with that. So the pressure, he puts it up, and we were able to get the big interception.
Hey, Brian, it looked like you gave Jaden a hug after the game, like right before the end.
I'm a big hugger. You know that.
I guess just why? And what sort of have you seen from him the last couple of weeks?
This was a big game in a lot of ways because it was this needed to be that, we're reaching that level of consistency of performance, and I think we both knew that if he was able to solidify another performance of similar quality, that we were off and running. And I think we both looked at each other and said, all right, let's go. It's time. And I think we both felt the same way, that he's in a very good place where he can run this offense now, and he feels very comfortable with it, and he's ready to do really good things for us.
At halftime was a message to the team, let's clean up penalties, stop hurting ourselves, we'll be fine.
I did kind of tell him that the first thing was we're going to get the ball back, and last couple of weeks I've deferred to the second half, and I said if we have a good drive here, we're going to set the tone, but we got to clean up a couple things, and we can't keep shooting ourselves in the foot. We're in a good position here. We put ourselves back in it. Let's clean some of those things up, and that's kind of exactly what I talked about.
Brian over here. Your team this season now has bounced back from 2 losses. Got down by 14 today. Again, showed resilience. To what do you attribute this team's ability to continually get off the mat?
Well, I knew the DNA in the team from the very beginning. You go back all the way to Florida State where we were down, and we fought all the way back in that game. And obviously we didn't execute an extra point, but that team was poised to win that game. So I kind of knew what we were about, in that very first game that we played. And it's been who they are from the very, very first time that I stepped on this campus with this team, is that they had fight in them. Now, all the other things, consistency, execution, doing the little things on a day-to-day basis, that's coming. And I've said this on a number of occasions. We can't just rely on just being great fighters, and we're not anymore. We're executing at a high level. We're exerting our will. Our best players are now starting to play their best football, and they're playing, quite frankly, with a lot of confidence right now, and that's a pretty good thing.
Coach, why do you think the last 2 weeks have happened? Kind of big picture. A couple of weeks ago we were here and it wasn't good, and since then you've completely turned it around.
We weren't as far away in that Tennessee game as the score indicated. Look, I went for a lot of fourth down situations that exacerbated the score. That could have been, let's keep it close, and everybody went like, wow, they played them tough. We didn't play the game to keep it close. We played it to win it. But we didn't play very well that day. Tennessee was the better football team that day. But when we went through it again and we watched the tape and we looked at it, we felt like we were a better football team. So I know perceptually we got lit up, and rightly so. We were poor that day. I coached poorly that day, and we deserved everything that we got. But when we looked at it internally, we didn't think that we were far off, and I think we're starting to prove that.
Coach has time for 2 more. Coach, talk about the offensive line. The defensive line before the season had all the press, and how dominant they were going to be. And the offensive line was a question. And yet they've had to have, 6 different starting offensive lines?
Yes.
And they are just looking so impressive with even the young talent that you have.
2 true freshmen
Brad
at
Davis's
tackle.
job.
Yeah, Brad's doing an incredible job. It's been a revolving cycle of players in and out of the lineup. The 2 freshmen have been outstanding for us. I just can't say enough about the resiliency and the toughness and the mindset. Look, I mean, we ended the game against Mississippi today with that 5-minute drive. The game ended with them knowing that we were going to run the ball at them, and we did that for 5 minutes. And that is a mindset that we wanted to build, and Brad's done a great job with that.
And that was head coach Brian Kelly this past Saturday, his post-game press conference. A big win, LSU 45, Ole Miss, as he calls it, Mississippi, 20. So, Budman, Jaden Daniels, Davey O'Brien, National Quarterback of the Week. He has 11 touchdowns in the last 2 games, both doing it through the air and with his feet. Look, I don't know if anybody in the beginning of the season would have thought that Jaden Daniels was going to have this type of success in the meat of the SEC schedule, but he's pleasing a lot of LSU fans.
I've got friends and fans that still are beating him up about missing open receivers, and when you talk about the stats and you talk about how clean he has played, the LSU offense is getting better, and wouldn't you know it? I mean, this is unprecedented. The rebuild, transfer portal, NIL, JP. We could live you could live another 50 years and never see 2 freshman
tackles
on the offensive line at your left tackle and right tackle. That being said, they've got some big responsibilities because Bama has some great edge rushers. But back to LSU Ole Miss, I do also really like not only the adjustments that Matt House made and sending pressure, and Brian Kelly said, look, we got them a lot more aggressive, but I like the way that LSU was able to enforce and impose their will on Ole Miss, and they started. This has been driving me nuts. When you get up 10 points and you want to go hurry up, soak the clock. Don't snap it until there's 3 or 4 seconds. You're trying to shorten the game. I thought they did a great job of that.
Yeah.
And as we know, 6-2. What did you pick for the regular season?
I think I went. Oh man, I can't. I don't know if I had
8-4,
I don't know if I- I don't
7-5,
know if I went-
9-3.
I think I had 9 wins, but
Okay.
I have to check the tape.
I said 8-4 if they win the bowl game, 9-4. Now that is all doable. Arkansas is always tough to play over there. You're going to beat UAB, and the hot mess of A&M. Who knows what they're going to be playing for at the end of the year? So they may get to 9 if you beat Arkansas, UAB, and Texas A&M. And holy cow, what this town would be like if they beat Alabama. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday night.
One more break here on time. Well, first we're going to break. There you go, AT. Good job for the performance against Ole Miss. Some SEC Player of the Week honors. EC Jaden Daniels, the quarterback, Offensive Player of the Week. The freshman, Harold Perkins, Freshman of the Week. And Mekhi Wingo did a great job. 92 on that defensive line. SEC Defensive Lineman Player of the Week. Good job, AT. Certainly appreciate you throwing up that graphic for us. Going to take another last break of this Tigers Roar. We'll come back, talk some Southern football. Big game coming up in Jackson, Mississippi. Going to take on Coach Prime and those Jackson State Tigers.
Prime time, game day. First time ever going to an event like this. Oh, by the way, we didn't have time to put Brian Kelly in there. He got the Bobby Dodd Coaches of the Week award. So a lot of people happy. The glass ought to be half full, not half empty, as we've got 4 more regular seasons. But the Jags and Jackson State going to be great for both those programs.
Take our last break of the evening. Come back and tip with a big old bow on this program. Come back and join us. You are watching Tigers Roar.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it.
And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Last segment of today's episode. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Remind you, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. It's a great way to keep up with everything we do here at the Pelican. We'll talk some Southern football. Of course, Pelican is involved with Coach Eric Dooley's show. Came off a big win against Virginia Lynchburg. When I say big, they scored a ton of points, but man, offense looked good. But Sean McCray is the quarterback for Southern. He's been throwing the ball all over the yard. But they're getting ready to face off against Deion Sanders and the Jackson State Tigers. Shador Prime Sanders is the quarterback. There was some talk by Coach Prime about him being in the Heisman conversation. That's not going to happen, but this is going to be a huge matchup. College game day on campus, Southern versus Jackson State. Historic this Saturday, Budman.
First time HBCU hosting this event, Jackson State. Prime, look, most people feel like he's trying to get a big Power 5 job. That being said, he's brought a lot of publicity to the SWAC. A couple weeks ago, one of the guys lost him. Yeah. Eddie Robinson Jr. said, he ain't SWAC. Well, this is going to be incredible publicity for the SWAC, and great to see Southern getting – hey, they've had a great year so far. Playing LSU and getting a big check. Now this kind of publicity, Roman Banks can't put a price on those two events.
Southern sits at 5-2. Jackson State is 7-0, and the fate of the SWAC is going to run through Jackson this weekend. A huge game for Coach Eric Dooley in this rebuild, if you will. Took over a situation from Jason Rollins where wanted to bring in his quarterback, a couple of guys on defense, but the win against Alcorn State was big for Southern. But this game, I mean, in Jackson, college game day doesn't get any bigger for the Jaguars.
Got to ask you, if you're the defensive coordinator, do you put a spy on Sanders?
Well, Southern has a very talented linebacker in Jordan Lewis. He was the defensive player of the year for the SWAC a couple years back. He is very talented on that front. He's going to have a good game and keep Shador in the pocket. Look, Southern Jackson, they like to throw the ball all over. They're very aggressive on defense, bring a lot of blitzes. So it's going to be a tough game. Coach Eric Dooley says his team needs to be more aggressive, needs to be the more aggressive team. That's how they're going to win. But I'm excited. Happy for Southern, happy for Roman Banks, happy for Eric Dooley. A huge stage for the Southern Jaguars.
Good luck, Jags. That ought to be a great atmosphere once again on Saturday morning. And Saints hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. Must win for Dennis Allen and the Saints moving forward.
That's right. It's a one game out of the lead for the NFC South. Of course, the Saints will face all their opponents again in the NFC South later on in this year. So the division's still up for grabs, if you can believe that. The Saints not having a good year, but there's still some optimism. It's supposed to get Jameis Winston back. That defense has to turn it around at some point. We'll see. For this episode of Tigers Roar, I certainly appreciate you tuning in. Check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting, and we appreciate you.